Okay, so this is my 2005 Mercedes E320, and this is my 2007 BMW 530i. Both of these cars actually drive really great. I can't complain about it. The Mercedes has 185 or 186,000 miles. The BMW has 182,000 miles. And what I could say is that this model BMW, they call it the E60, it has like lots of issues actually. I mean, as you reach high miles, getting older, this car is prone to have electronic problems, and you're probably better off getting a Mercedes compared to a BMW. Here's why. The BMW has more electronic parts that could actually fail. Mercedes, on the other hand, is very simple. One of the main things that I should say that it's very simple is because of this. So if you look at in the trunk, and if you look at the battery, so positive terminal, negative terminal, you only have like two main terminals out there. Now for the BMW, look at this. Look at the positive terminal. It has a ballast, this portion here, that when you're in an accident or something triggered, like say an airbag, this actually will cut off the wire. There will be there's like an explosive device here that cuts it off, so you won't be able to start the car. It's more of a safety feature. And then on the negative terminal, you have the Ibs sensor. The Ibs is the intelligent battery system, which actually the Mercedes has that feature too. I think BMW made it more complicated. So if you look at this, I have it disconnected because my Ibs sensor is damaged or broken, and it will give you a no start condition. Pretty much nothing. If you click on the start button, nothing will happen. It just like won't do anything. No click, no cranking, no nothing. It will not even turn on. I mean, your lights will turn on the dash, but that's it. It's like turning on the accessory. Nothing will happen. So yeah, their battery is both here, but I find the Mercedes implementation very simple. It has a intelligent battery system too, where it actually like turns off your convenience feature if the battery is very low. But the way Mercedes implemented it, it's very simple. BMW made it very, very complicated. I mean, if your car doesn't start at all, it could be like 100 reasons why it wouldn't start, and it could be this or it could be that. The other reason too why I prefer the Mercedes is the quality of the material. If you look at the door, so pretty much the seats for this actually has a Chrysler. It's made actually by Chrysler. So if you look mine, there's like some small rips out here, but anything here is okay. Still pretty good. The sunshade there still works. And one of the very best things that I notice about it is this, the trim. the door insulation, it's like made of cloth, so it's like rubber with cloth on the exterior, so it wouldn't actually like disintegrate. And then the doors are made up of leather. Yep. And they're still in pretty good shape, even the wood trim. Now under the hood you also got more space to work on, like removing the belt. And when your belt goes awry, your crankshaft will not actually eat the belt and put it inside your oil pan and pretty much destroy your whole engine. It has also VVT, which is also a very simple implementation too. Doesn't have problems with it. So this one is still in pretty good shape. I already changed the valve covers for this. I mean the valve cover gasket. And then back there you got the CCV hoses, and it's also very simple, and it's also really cheap. Mercedes made it really simple for the CCV implementation. It's just like a bunch of hoses and some vent on the valve cover, and that's it. Yeah, and this whole thing contains the cabin filter too, so I don't need to remove like the cowling here, unlike BMW. So let's take a look at my BMW. And also the headlight, the wirings for that is also pretty good. Now for BMW, if you look at this is rubber, and they have a felt inside here, only on this side, the cloth portion of it. So if you look at this, and this one, it's like ripped already. And the interior is okay for 530i, and iDrive is probably the worst thing that BMW invented. This is the worst model or generation of iDrive. Don't buy a BMW for iDrive. It's really bad. My E90 has no iDrive, and I was like really happy that it doesn't have one. It's not really good. And here's the thing that is really bad about BMW. See this thing over here? Yeah, the paint is like cracking. So, yep, it's like a layer of paint. I think most newer Mercedes has this issue too on the steering wheel, but I think they get sticky, and once you like wipe them off, yeah, it's they look really bad. So let's open up the hood, and so yep, you don't really have much space because of the inline configuration. So it's really close to the fan, and if you're not like observing or watching this oil filter, what they call this, there's an oil filter gasket here that will leak oil, and then it will go to your belt, and if that belt breaks, your crankshaft will actually eat it, and pretty much it will go to your oil pan, inside the oil pan, and your oil pump will basically suck that stuff and destroy your engine. And here's one thing, BMW uses Valvetronic, which Mercedes doesn't have, and the Valvetronic motor is over here, and then there's a sensor here, an expensive sensor that basically will also fail at high miles. So the additive that is, but it's like an eccentric shaft sensor that could also fail. And they also have this what they call it, the and one more thing, the PCV, it has a PCV on this one. So the PCV is pretty much over engineered on BMW, and usually they fail, the hoses crack, you get oil leaks, and you get bad idle. And yeah, there's also another one that connects to it. I forgot the name, but they also, BMW has that one too. I think it's under this intake. And yeah, in order also to remove this one, you need to like remove the cowling on this, which is it's not that bad. It's like maybe a 3-minute work to remove the bolts. And the one on the Mercedes is simpler. Yep, and this one also fails most of the time. I haven't encountered any problems, cooling system problems with Mercedes. BMW always has this problem. Then you also get this constant oil leak on this one. They are high maintenance items, these two. But I think you could live with this one leaking. But this one, yeah, you should like fix it. And also it has an electric water pump. Yep, that is also an expensive one to replace compared to Mercedes. Mercedes still has the manual pump or mechanical pump. So yep. But if you compare the driving dynamics between BMW and Mercedes, I prefer the BMW though. It's actually smoother because of the because of the Valvetronic. And also one thing that is also convenient on BMW is the charging terminal. Mercedes doesn't have it. Mercedes has, you could do it, but it's like located way over here on the fuse. I think it's like a fuse or like a DMA box, and it's like hard to access it. You could do that one, but I usually like put my booster pack in the trunk. So there you go. Yeah, so if it happens that you need to decide which one to buy, BMW or Mercedes, I would probably recommend Mercedes.